Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day for Tesla, for FSD, for robotaxi. Never thought I would be living in the life where cars drive themselves, deliver themselves to customers, and when the customer isn't using them, they go out and make some money for the customer. At least that is the dream. We can all dream. But then there is Tesla. We'll bring that dream to reality. Man, I'm so excited. I don't know where to start. All right, let's start with me running version 13.2.9 on the 23 Model Y long range. Dual motor, of course. Did a pretty interesting drive, actually a round trip, 2,000 miles. I drove from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, all the way to Florida. It was a pretty boring ride. Let's put it like that, because I wasn't driving. It was two people in the driver's seat, and not once did we have a disengagement that's critical or any interventions, nothing like that. The only part that we had disengagements were when we pull up to the supercharger. We have to take over to park because for some reason the updated version of 13.2.9 it does not park the car anymore. So usually sometimes it'll back into the parking spot. Nope, it just pull up to the supercharger and put itself in park. I recorded a little bit of video on it, but it wasn't nothing for me to do a actual real video on because it's been the same content day in and day out. But I figure, I'll ramble a little bit today, put another video out and talk about robotaxi and where do I see Tesla and FSD with robotaxi. So first of all, I want to say great job that did their thing. Tesla doing crazy things right now. This guy from the left lane trying to go all the way to the right. FSD saw that. So it's pretty capable. It is pretty darn capable. But I want the version that the robotaxi is being driven on. That's what I want. Hopefully we get it in the next month. Hopefully not two. Okay, so he just executed that on-ramp merge pretty flawlessly. Not all the time it does that though. Sometimes it'll speed up with traffic approaching in the lane that it's trying to get into, and I would disengage. But yeah, see all the guys getting their little invitation to go to Texas or wherever to go get their free, pay their $420 to ride in the robotaxi over there. Of course, with a safety rider because they're not in the driver's seat. And the only one thing I have to comment on is in Texas, the roads that they drive on is pretty much all smooth, clear roads. I guess Tesla paid Texas to fix up the roads so that we can do the robotaxi with no problem, because there's no way roads in Texas versus Philadelphia is that bad. In Philly, man, you got so many potholes that you might as well just call it Pothole City. So I got this guy behind me tailing me. He's so close to my bumper. He's trying to get over. There you go, he's around. He's a girl, or should I say a lady. But I'm not doing no crazy. There she goes, cutting in and out of traffic. But FSD's doing a pretty good job being aware and alert. Look, there she goes. She cuts over again because the lane is moving too slow. But yeah, the trip was about a total of about 18 hours. Without supercharging, would have been 15 and a half. But we incorporated about extra 2.5 hours in there for supercharging because we charged maybe 6 times going to Florida. And the superchargers are very convenient. And I gotta say, the supercharger network is impressive. It was very impressive. Even though when the car calculates and it routes me, it'll put me the first one it put me to was like a 250 kilowatt. Then I believe it's a 120 kilowatt because I was charging at 114 for the longest, and I'm trying to figure why, because the battery is supposed to be conditioned so when you get to the supercharger, it gives the proper, juice to the battery. But it was just taking its time. I think I spent me like 20 minutes charging to get up to about like 75%. Well, to continue the trip, it wasn't 75%. But aside from that, one hiccup, the drive was crazy, awesome, boring. First drive I took, it was about, I was in the supervisor's seat for about 11 hours straight, including the supercharger stops, of course. And it's around the 11-hour mark, I started getting sleepy, like literally started closing my eyes because I am not doing nothing in the car. Aside from taking over at the supercharger to pull it in the parking spot, I do nothing else. It drove around Florida like it was programmed specifically for Florida because the roads over there, They're not the greatest in certain areas. I think I was in Hines City or Haines City, Florida. Some of the roads are pretty good, but not all of it. And FSD handled parking lots. I went to Popeyes. It took me across the road from Popeyes, but it was in the vicinity. I was like, what the heck? But you know, it's a new thing. Eventually, Tesla will work out the proximity when it comes down to, you know, getting the passenger to the closest destination as possible to the target, if that makes sense. All right, so far, oh, let me cut a little air on. There's a little brisket in here. But so far, supervisor is pretty handy. I'm just hoping that for us folks that has been paying the $99 for the supervised, if Elon decides that he do want to jack the price up on it, he'll keep the people that's already signed up for $99 a month. He just keep them at $99 a month, and the newcomers, they'll charge a premium for it. Because it would be wrong, I think, for us FSD drivers to get Tesla all that driving data on full self-driving. And now because they have the robotaxi fleet, now they're collecting new data without a driver in the driver's seat. And they use that and then just start charging us an arm and a leg. That wouldn't be right. Even though it's technically, you're paying per month as a subscription, but I would like for them not to jack the price up on it. All right, so my entire highway drive is already done. You guys see me start the car from park, took me on the highway. It had a few interactions with cars along the way where it gave them the right of way. And now it's taking me to the off ramp. Now, GM Super Cruise or Cadillac or Chevy or whichever one they put the Super Cruise in, they can't do all that. They probably can change lanes and stuff on the highway, but Tesla FSD, my goodness. I would never do another road trip without being in a Tesla. If I have to rent one that has FSD on it, I will do that instead of putting the mileage on it. I think I put 2,200 miles on this round trip last weekend going to Florida, back and forth. And as I said earlier, it's the best road trip buddy you can have. My lady friend, she was so comfortable in the seat. She was just sitting there ready to grab the steering wheel for the first maybe like hour of her driving. And all of a sudden her hand kind of like got real relaxed and she started putting her hand on, she called this her little shelf, where she can rest her hand up here and just look at the road. And for her to be behind the wheel for that long on the highway doing 75 plus miles an hour on FSD, it goes to show you the confident level that Elon Musk and the Tesla team has in the robotaxi. That it is a thing of the future. We just having the watered down version right now. So when it starts rolling out to the fleet so everybody can do it, even though I'm not paying for it, I don't own FSD, I'm subscribed to it. They send it to me. I am not putting it out there in the fleet. Not in Philadelphia. Man, there's too much zombies in Philadelphia. And I drive public transportation and I can't stand the smell of the bus sometimes. So imagine getting off of work, hopping in your car after it done ran around and picked up passengers, and then you come to a dirty car that you have to clean out. No, you're tired, you just got off of work, you do an 8, 10, 12-hour shift, depends on how long your shift is for the route that you do. And you gotta come into a smelly car. Nah, I use FSD for my own personal gain. Like today, I was beat, I was tired. I was fine last night, I did an overnight shift. 12 o'clock till 8 a.m. this morning. The whole night I was fine. The last part of the morning on my last trip, felt like I was falling asleep. But I hopped in my car and it's like, the sleep went away. I was like, ooh, I could record a video, talk about Tesla FSD robotaxi and my experience going to Florida. I got newfound strength, the fact that I don't have to actually sit here and drive the car. And as you guys notice, this road is getting paved and there's quite a few speed bumps over here. Now, usually FSD guns down the road and it'll slow down for the speed bump, but it's doing a pretty good job pacing the car in front of us and taking its time over the speed bumps. See, it's not really real bad jolts. So hopefully it went over. Hopefully it stays behind, hopefully they stay on this road entirety. That way FSD can just replicate their moves. Yeah, I got my little Honda tray right here. I got it off of Amazon for 17 bucks. But there's a lot of rattling. I have some rubber grommets to put in between to, I guess, mitigate the vibration, but I think I'll throw them out. I'll have to come up with some other idea. I have some sticky tape that I can probably put in there. to cut down on the vibration. Yeah, this entire road is paved, but then when we get into the intersection, the part that we are on right now is graded, meaning there's no asphalt there, it's cut up. When we get in an intersection, across going this way, it's still paved. You got a little lip, so you give you a little jolt and kaput, whatever you want to call it. But it's not too bad. And I'm very appreciative for the car in front of us right now because FSD would have been doing probably about 24. And even though the speed limit is 25, with a road like this, you don't want to be doing 24. Okay, so this car in front of us is deciding to park, double park. They put their hazards on and FSD noticed it right away. And this is what I don't like. So FSD has a turn signal to go left. Sorry. FSD has its turn signal to go left onto Baltimore Avenue. But it's not, its intention is to go left at Cedar Avenue, which is not good because it just confused that driver. And they were getting ready to go left on their part. And they gave me the hand like, what are you doing? You got your turn signal to go left. So I know Elon don't watch my videos, but little things like that we need to fix. I think that's part of the navigation, and that little rainbow tentacle right there, it's not wanting to do what it's supposed to do, which is follow the Google map, follow the maps. This little lady right here, FSD stopped for her, so I let her go ahead because I was getting ready to just hit the accelerator pedal, but I was like, nope, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. So I should try to do no interventions from parking lot until the car puts itself in park. So for all you guys out there that's thinking about getting even if you don't think about getting a Tesla, it's fine. But you should really try FSD. That's the worst. What's the worst that is gonna happen? If you buy a brand new Tesla, you get, I'm not sure if it's 1 month or it's 3 months, but I know if you use someone's referral code, I have mine in the description, you get free trial. Now, I'm not saying go out there, go buy a car until you understand, do your research about your charging situation, where you live, because I live in West Philly. There's no parking spots really. If you live in Philadelphia, you know how the houses are. These are how parking spots are around Philadelphia. You don't have nowhere designated where you can just pull in and park, put your car to park. If you have a garage, that's a thumbs up. If you don't, I play wait your turn. I charge once a week. I charge up to about 90–95%. And as soon as I come home at night, if I see there's a spot open that I usually park my car at, I jump in there and just go charge right real quick. I might not get to 195% all the time, but I try to maximize my charging abilities as much as possible when the spot is available. All right, so we're making this right turn right here now, and it should be pulling over here, but it's going around and... Okay, so let's see which way it's gonna go. All right. You may want to park in emergency, which is not the best thing to do, but let's see what happens. It's gonna park here. Yep. All right, there we have it. It came and it parked. That was a total end to end. It will not park in a parking spot for no reason. But anyway, guys, hope you like my jibber jabber, and hopefully the next video I'll do will be in a better version of the new Tesla FSD video. So if you like the video, if you enjoy the video, like and subscribe, and I would appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing a manual parking today. All right, folks. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.